Good morning, Aldersley. We are talking this morning about whether there is life out there in the universe. It is the 19th of June, 2020. It's my mum's birthday. Let's go. So, yesterday's challenges set by Miss Gavin were to look at the Action for Happiness calendar, and it was to send a positive note to a friend who needs some encouragement, or to write a diary entry, story, poem, song, or letter about your experience during lockdown, or 3, give something a try that you've previously not done so well in. Try and remain positive throughout. So those are the challenges. Keep tweeting your challenges. We love to see what you guys are talking about. Twitter, here we are. So nice to see the work that you do gets tweeted. Lovely to see people out and about doing bug hunts and so on. Lovely to see people making videos and doing great work on the presentations. Keep tweeting those. We love to see your tweets. So, joyful June. It's the 19th of June. We'll be talking later about that challenge. Today's challenge is to create a list of favourite memories you feel most grateful for. So, on to today's topic about life out there. So, first of all, people are usually really interested to know why we think life might be out there. So, this is a picture of the nearest galaxy to our own, the Andromeda Galaxy, which might be between the same size as our galaxy and 50% bigger. They keep trying to weigh it, but obviously you need a really big set of scales to do that. So, they're trying to figure out how much is there. And if you look at the number of zeros we've got there, we've got not 3, which would be thousands, not 6, which would be millions, not 9, which would be billions, but 1 trillion stars in there. So there's a lot of stars, and that's one galaxy there. That's one galaxy, and that's our nearest galaxy. And so we think that, and we certainly thought that back in the late 90s when I was at school, we were wondering whether there was planets around other stars, and this is something called the Kepler orrery, which is a map, really, of all the planets that have been found around other stars by the Kepler Observatory. So every little ring you see is a different star system. So we weren't sure 20 odd years ago whether there were any planets around other stars, and we have found all these ones since. Most stars now that we look at have got a planet going around it. So if each galaxy has got 1 trillion stars in it, and we look at space, and in this picture you'll see little blobs of light, but those aren't stars. Every little blob of light you see in this picture is a galaxy, and in each galaxy we could expect there to be 1 trillion stars. And again, if you look at the noughts there, we've not got thousands, millions, billions, trillions. We've got 10 trillion galaxies is our best guess at the moment from the observable universe how many galaxies there might be there. And so if you multiply it by the number of stars that there are there, that gives you a lot of stars. So loads and loads and loads of stars in the septillions out there. So there's lots and lots of stars, and if most stars have got planets going around them, then you might think that might give us some pretty decent chance for life out there. But of course, the thing is that intelligent life that can talk and make TV programs and broadcast them out to space so that we would know they were there has only happened on Earth once. We're pretty confident about that. We're pretty confident this has only happened once. So that's the downside of it. You don't need to be as smart as people are in order to be a very successful life on Earth. And in fact, humans haven't been around for that long. So there might be intelligent life out there, and there's some great videos out there, which I will post alongside this assembly for you guys to take a look at for reasons why we might not have made contact with the life forms. But that said, there are a lot of stars out there. So we're very hopeful that life might be out there in the universe, and obviously that gives us a really good chance for life. Where might there be life? Well, we might think it be on planets like this. So in order to have life on a planet, we are looking for life like our own. So we're looking for life that might be on a planet where water exists in ice, in a liquid and in a gas phase all at the same time. So we're starting our search off looking at planets which look like Earth. And there are planets that look like Earth, yes, they've been found. In fact, there have been quite a few what we call super Earths that have been found out there too. Planets which are quite a bit bigger than the Earth, have a lot more density, so have a lot more gravity. And that's a fascinating thing to have a look for by itself. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for places where there might be some water. And so once we know that, it becomes a bit easier for us to decide how we're going to look in the universe. And so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for planets which have got ice, water, and water gas, and the water vapor in the atmosphere. It wouldn't have to be a planet going around its star, though, necessarily. It could be a moon going around a planet which goes around a star. So lots of the planets that we're finding around other stars, the planet is actually very big, like Jupiter and so on, maybe made of gas, and so not necessarily the kind of place where you could find life like ours, but around it might be moons. And because some of these planets are much closer to their star than our Jupiter is, maybe one of their moons might be a good place to check for life there. So we're sort of looking for places like that. How are we trying to find these places? Well, we're trying to find them with organizations like SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. What they do is they look for radio waves. Now the thing about this is that space is really, really big. So our nearest star is 4 light years away. And by far, the majority of stars are in the millions and billions of light years away. So even if you were, for example, looking for life on Earth from another star, you would only know that there was intelligent life from our radio signals, and they would have only gotten 200 light years from Earth, because they've only been broadcast for about 200 years. So that would be an issue. However, that is the way we are trying to look for extraterrestrial intelligence. We are using our radio telescopes, and we're trying to pick up signals from extraterrestrial intelligences that way. And SETI have got radio telescopes and time on radio telescopes all over the world, and they try and gather that data, and they try and crunch that data and try and find signals from extraterrestrial intelligences. Since we've managed to catalogue the existence of these extrasolar planets, these exoplanets, we've managed to find that there are thousands of them. What we're trying to do next is trying to test to see if they've got the things for life that you would need. So this telescope that everyone stood next to in this picture is called the James Webb Space Telescope, and it's got a huge mirror, and it's a successor to the very famous Hubble Space Telescope, and it's designed to work at really, really low temperatures. It's designed to pick up the heat, the infrared radiation, the heat radiation that you get from bodies in space. And the reason why we do that is because it gets through the dust in space. It can see through the dust in space much more clearly than the Hubble Space Telescope can. We're going to send it right out away from Earth, really far away from the Earth, really, to a place where it will stay in. It will stay next to the Earth in terms of its orbit, but it will be in a very cold environment. So and it's got like a heat shield as well, so it will be shielded from the heat of the sun, and it'll be able to pick up information from the stars without that heat from the Earth and so on from disrupting the messages that it's getting. And that will enable it to pick up the chemicals from the atmospheres around those planets. So what it would do is it will be able to tell us about whether there is water in the atmosphere, how warm it is, and the size of that planet. So that's one of the things that we're doing to try and see what they're like on those planets. So that leads us neatly onto today's challenges. The first one from the Action for Happiness calendar: write down your favourite memories that you feel grateful for. But then you might also choose to use the merge cube. So get your merge cubes out, have a look at the solar system in more detail, and then You might also want to get a phone app like Sky View Light to have a look at the planets around you. So you could go and you can use that to see where the moon is right now. You can use it to see Venus rising, Mars rising, and so on. You can find them in the sky. You can find Orion. So lots to do there with your apps, and it overlays it very neatly on what you've got. So you can just lift up your phone and just look around, and you can see those bodies. So I will put that on the posts when the assembly goes up, and so you'll be able to have a go yourself. Okay, Aldersley, have a really good day, and I look forward to seeing what you get up to.